Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high must leave the court immediately.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Today's rule is rule number 7. It's a family affair.
So your party was great. I saw your pictures and you put on Instagram, and then I saw all your kids and I don't think Jen, I don't think your kids were there, but it was my kids sitting around. It was Thomas and Julie, and it was Joe and Aiden, and I was like, "Who's this girl with the red hair?" And Christine, my wife, was like, "That's me, you idiot!" And I was like, "Oh my god, how did I miss that?"
Oh my god!
But it gets worse. So as we're leaving, Audrey, your son Joe, who's turning 5.
Yeah.
I don't even want to tell it. It's embarrassing, man. It's so embarrassing.
Well,
So
they were decorating eggs together.
Yeah.
They're
and with
coloring in the eggs,
Thomas,
right?
Yes.
And Joseph wanted to know where her father was.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
you have to say Christine's father.
Well, Christine's father, but Christine's father wasn't there, so she was very confused. And she's like, "Well, honey, my dad didn't come." And he goes, "Well, then who's the guy with the hat on?"
Oh,
And he was talking about Tommy.
come on. I'm 4 years older than Christine.
Well, apparently
you're rocking the cradle,
But
Dad.
it got even better because as we're leaving, so my daughter had spent the weekend with them, or the whole time we were in Mexico,
weekend.
she was with
Yeah,
them.
she was with us.
And they so his daughter and my daughter had gone over to the car. So now Molly and Aubrey are at the car, and Joseph goes up to Christine and goes, "Hey, so your sister's at the car already."
Needless to say, Joe's my least favorite, but he's absolutely Christine's favorite of all your kids right now by a
He's
mile.
my favorite now too. He's awesome.
Thanks a lot, Joe. But we should
Dad,
say
I
that.
Bringing all your kids to
five-year-olds.
my party. You're so nice, Tommy. Bringing
Yeah,
your kids
you
to
know,
my
you got
house.
and
I'll
just
have
so we dropped them all off on Jen's house and gave us Chinese food. And I will say, my daughter Molly does cosplay, and when she travels, we always would tell her, "Molly, you're bringing too much shit. You're bringing too much shit." Audrey brought more cosplay clothes than I've ever seen to our house. I was like, "You're staying here for 3 days." She bought this rolling locker. She had
Yes.
suitcases and bags. Anyway, they had a blast. It was great.
It's like the makeup one that's like
Yeah.
tiered. Yeah.
Gigantic.
Yeah.
So we like Aubrey. Christine loves Joe. I'm not a big fan anymore. But it was a great time at Jen's house, and yeah, it was great. It's this is a family affair, and so I should just say that the voice you hear when the show starts is my daughter Molly. She's our announcer, and the artwork for the show is done by Audrey's daughter. So we'll bring as many people from the families that we can into this to help with the show and to make it what it is. So it was a cool party, even though
It was an amazing party.
Even though I don't like
we're
Joe
trying to
anymore.
rope Dylan into making us something for us to wear to like the festivals
Oh,
we go to with like
yeah, you
Rule
should say-
42.
Dylan's a graffiti
So,
artist.
Yeah, Jen's son
Very
is
into
he's like
graffiti and
6'12", and he was just doing graffiti the whole time, like in your driveway. And it was really cool.
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, my driveway's even more covered now.
That was
with
really-
Oh, that's so
it's
cool.
funny though, the neighbors love it when we draw on this stuff. So they sometimes leave chalk in my mailbox because it started during
cool.
COVID. I was home with the kids and I have a really long driveway. So like I didn't know what to do with them. So we just started drawing on the driveway and making different like murals. We did like an ocean one time, and it would go all the way from the street all the way up. So my neighbors would like get happy walking by and like they
Nice.
loved it. So they were like, do more. Here's more chalk. So there would be randomly chalk in my mailbox.
And he was doing it at your party. It was great.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty talented artist. So we'll have him do something. There's something we can definitely do because, like I said, make this a
Yeah.
family affair.
Yes.
We'll get everyone in on it.
And this episode is going to be, we're going to turn the spotlight on one of the hosts today. We're going to turn it on Audrey Cruz and hear her amazing story as
That'd be me.
we get to learn about Audrey.
Learn about Audrey today.
So enjoy the show, people.
Show and tell.
Yeah. Rule 42.
1, 2, 3, impromptu.
This weekend, Jen, you hosted us for a
Very
Halloween.
impromptu Easter.
For an impromptu Easter get together. It was a great time. We had a blast.
Yeah,
It was a lot of
we
fun.
had fun too. It was,
We'd also like to point out that we flew in at like midnight
yeah.
the night before
Okay,
and
let's back that
still
up.
managed. So we flew out to okay. So I got a call from one of my friends that was like super sad and kind of something had happened to her. And I was like, I got you. Hold on. I was like, where are you supposed to go? And she's like, Cancun, but actually she said Mexico. Yeah, Cancun. She's like, Cancun, but my friend bailed and now I'm not going. And she's like, do you mind if I come up and hang out with you during that time? I took the days off and everything. So I was like, yeah. So she was trying to switch her flight, and the flight would have cost so much more for her to come up here for that break. So I was like, wait a minute, you said Cancun, right? And she's like, yeah. So I was like, please hold. And I called another friend that told me about a wedding that she was going to in Cancun. So I go, hey, you remember that wedding you're going to? She's like, yeah. I was like, when are you going? And she's like, Wednesday to Tuesday. I was like, what Wednesday? And she's like, this Wednesday. I was like, hold on. I hang up on her, call the other friend back. When were you supposed to go on your trip? She goes, Wednesday to Sunday.
Oh.
And I go, huh? What Wednesday? And she's like, this Wednesday. So I called Jen.
She's like, what are you doing on Wednesday? I'm like, nothing. I don't know.
So on Monday, you called Jen and said, let's go to Mexico.
Yeah, she was like, what are
Yeah.
you doing this week? I was like, nothing much. She was like, you want to go to Mexico on Wednesday? I was like, yeah. Like, why not? Let's go.
So book the hotel, book flights. We get ready. It's early Wednesday morning.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm driving to her house with my suitcases in my bag.
And Audrey has no passport.
Right. Okay. So go back there. So you're going to the airport with no passport.
We
Well,
did not leave
no,
my
we didn't-
house
we didn't-
yet.
Oh yeah, you met us at her house. Remember?
Oh,
I had the
that's-
jerseys.
That was supposed to be
Yeah,
mysterious for the
because-
audience.
Yes.
Yes.
Dun dun
Okay,
dun. Sorry.
But yes, no, Jen did. You did me a solid, and you picked up hockey jerseys for me that were in Connecticut, and then I saw you guys, and we said hello, and you guys, and I do have to say, Audrey, you left a nice little gift for me to try, so thank you for that. I will let you know how that goes. But it was a sleep aid that was plant-based.
Yes.
Wait a minute. You haven't tried?
Yeah,
I'm
why
such a-
haven't you
What
tried
is
I'm-
it
wrong
yet?
with you?
'cause I'm such a huge puss that I'm like, oh, should I try this? Should I do this? But I will. I think
Oh my
tonight.
God, just
Your
take
wife
it.
will hold your hand, bro.
You'll
All
be
Hey, come on.
fine.
Betty,
right.
you will be fine. You
You
got
can do
this.
it.
All right, I'm gonna do that maybe tonight, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But they're
Yes.
so you gave me a THC in a pill form, which is weird. I've never tried that. So
Yes, it's amazing.
It
And
was
it knocks
pill
you out.
and gummy.
Well, you said fast acting.
Yeah.
that
So,
fast acting I like.
Whatcha?
So
but
okay,
you
so
actually have to take it for it to work.
touche, Borke. So okay, so we met. I did meet you guys in Connecticut, and then you had to delay it for a day, and then you went to
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, so my daughter, God love her, and my mom started searching for my passport. They find it. They now have to switch their flight because they were originally supposed to leave at 10:30 in the morning and then land at 2:30. But I needed to catch a plane, man. I
Wait,
had
so
places to be.
let's also just clear that up. So they were at your house in Florida.
Yes.
Your mom and your daughter. They were
Yes.
flying up while you were flying down.
Correct. Well, so
But that-
that was initially the plan. But now that I had no passport and it was in Florida, they ended up on a 7 a.m. flight.
Okay.
And we met them at the airport and switched off.
They gave
They
us the
handed me my passport. We gave them a ride.
At the airport.
Yeah, so they left and
Here,
so
here's
they
the
landed
keys.
at JFK.
Take the car. Go home.
Yeah.
Uh,
They got in
yeah.
the car and
Yeah.
we went
And
into the airport.
so we landed. They landed in JFK. We flew out of JFK, and then by that evening we were in Mexico. Oh, and halfway to Mexico we had a layover.
Yes, we did.
And what
Yeah.
did we do? Ba-dum-bum.
Recorded a podcast episode,
What?
which was
Yeah.
pretty cool. So I'm just amazed because this isn't. I don't want to say normal, like it's a bad word, but this is not normal. Like that's not a normal vacation by
Why?
any means.
It was a girl trip.
Girl trip, impromptu.
Then you did.
Impromptu.
So
I'm
then-
not a good planner. So when I feel that when I plan stuff, it never works out. And then I just get really sad. So I just don't plan stuff. And I just go with the flow of things because things
We're like, we don't have plans. We're just like,
No.
this is what we're doing. Okay, like
we have
even like
kids. There's
even
life,
Easter,
work.
like we weren't really planning on doing an Easter egg hunt, and then we were just like Easter egg hunt at my house, and Audrey was like, yeah, and I was like,
So-
all right, let's throw it together. Like
Yeah,
we'll
that
figure
was-
it out.
that was great because we were. You guys generously invited us. We went up. We had a good time with all of our families were up there. But my son, who's 9, was like, we were a little bit late, and it was thrown together. And he's like, I'm not going to miss this Easter egg hunt. Can you tell them to delay the Easter egg hunt? Like, so
Aw,
the kids are so into Easter egg hunts, though.
they are.
Yeah.
And you guys, it was way over the top. There was like a gazillion eggs.
Well, dude, there were so many eggs that the kids left not because they ran out of eggs, they ran out of space in their bag.
They didn't have that. I know.
Yeah.
All and it was super cool. And then
Easter's magical like that. It's
Yeah.
just so nice to see the kids so happy and having their
Dyeing
living
the
their best
eggs
life.
and everything. They were having so
Yeah.
much fun.
this is what's awesome. I always want to bring something. I'm like, guys, what do I bring you? You're like, I don't know, fruit. So
Yeah.
we bought fruit, but you guys, this was very unique in Easter history. It was a Chinese food, meatball, and McDonald's Easter.
Again,
Yeah.
we were in
Well-
Mexico.
No, but it was
I
all
had so I totally had a whole menu. I was going to order from Stu's. I had it in my
It was
cart.
amazing.
It was we were having like big ziti. We had all this like actual like more of like Easter type foods, I guess you would call it. But yeah, it fell through. They were like, yeah, we can't do your order. So then that was the day before. So I was just like, what are we gonna do?
like on the
So
plane from
that
Mexico.
morning, I'm like calling places. Nowhere's open because it's Easter. So I'm like, what? I'm like, Chinese. Chinese is always open. So we were just like, that's it. We're
But
doing
then
Chinese.
we have very picky particular children.
Yeah.
So
and
while
friends.
we picked
Yeah.
up a shit ton of Chinese food, we were driving back and like, well, we need French fries. So we stopped at
Okay.
McDonald's. and
McDonald's was
bought
right next to the Chinese place, so it was perfect. We were just like, bam, bam, done. Thank you.
a
There you
bunch
go.
of fries, a few meals, like 5 Happy Meals.
That worked out
That's the
perfectly.
orders.
Yeah.
It was a unique experience, and it worked out amazing. Like you said,
Everyone had food.
screw
Everyone
planning.
was happy.
there was too much food.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's still Chinese in my fridge. Like
and-
teenagers have been eating it, but
all-
like
yeah, for a
holy
week,
shit.
right? And also as all this was going on, Audrey, your daughter Aubrey stayed with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she spent the weekend with us,
Yeah.
full cosplaying with my daughter
Yep.
Molly.
I know they were I felt so bad. They kept following me around, being like, Jen, you want to see our videos yet? And I'm like, hold on
Yeah.
1 second. I'm getting the Easter egg hunt. And I'm like, hold on 1 second. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. So they were showing me. They had
So
so many awesome
excited.
costumes. I was like, I love it.
So they did great. They had,
Yeah.
I think they did. They
So
told me
much
they did
fun.
11 costumes over the
Yeah.
weekend, and
Oh,
but they want to go out
wow.
in public. Christine took 3 for the team because I didn't go to the mall at all. But she's like, I'm taking the girls to the mall because we want an adult there because sometimes people make comments at them when they're dressed. It was
Yeah.
overwhelmingly
No, they
positive.
do.
Well, people
They
are,
do.
yeah, douchey
But-
People can be kind of
sometimes.
nasty.
No,
But she said it was awesome. People were taking pictures with them.
people are like,
Yeah.
this is so cool. She said there was one group of girls who were like giggling and taking video, and Christine's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, that's not cool. Like,
Yes!
she stopped and she's like,
Love.
she's like, not cool. She's like, if you want to take a picture, you can ask them. She said the girl was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, can I ask them? So it was like, was kind of dicky of the kids, but also not,
Yeah.
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 But they said that it was overwhelming. People were like, I know your characters. That's so cool. And people were
That's
taking
so
pictures with
That's
them.
awesome.
Yeah. So they had a blast while you guys are in Mexico.
Yeah.
And then we had this great impromptu Chinese meatball McDonald's Easter party. And yeah, sometimes that's just the way things work out. It's just
At least the kids had fun. That's all that matters. Like they had a good time. We
The
had
adults had
ton of
fun.
I had a
I
blast.
had fun. Like, we all had a good time. So that's all that
no,
matters.
that's great. That's life. That's
there was a pinata.
I know. I was like in my closet
you're
and I
right.
was just like, pinata? And then I found a box of stuff that I had. I was like, oh, we're doing a pinata too because I found one in the closet. Why not?
because what else says Easter like a pinata,
We
And
were
Chinese food.
multicultural.
That's it. Oh, a lot of
We had Easter. We had freaking
So between
Chinese. We're like
between
all
the 3 of us and the families, there was probably 5 there's probably 9 kids, 10 kids up there. They were having a
Yeah.
blast. They were
Yeah.
skateboarding. We have a new picture that we have to get framed. It's us with your gigantic gorilla.
Oh, I know you guys have to come back after I repaint him because he's like all like janky right now. I took his fringe off, so once we get him like his do-over, we'll do a better
We'll be
picture.
there. And like you said, Audrey, it proves your point that like you don't really have to plan a lot of times, and things just seem to work out.
No, most of our get-togethers are usually thrown together, and I feel like they work out better that way.
Yeah. And that was a blast. So again, thank you. That was
No
awesome.
worries.
Shows your crazy lives of going to Mexico, going to a party. Audrey, you didn't sleep for 3 days, which seems like fun, right?
You would think so, but I was actually getting to a point where, and it's not like I wasn't sleeping. I just couldn't. I was so wired. I could still function. I mean, I was a little loopy, but yeah, I finally crashed. And
Good.
I, again, also a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, because the day I crashed that night, I was left alone with Aiden and Mia, and Aiden ended up sick. So I was up with him till 5 a.m. and then had to get up at 6 to wake up Mia for school. So
but that was after you had some sleep.
Yeah, after she crashed.
Okay. After I crashed.
Because you essentially had a whole day where you just like knocked out, right?
Yeah, I did not move. People thought I died.
Because I think
I
I
wasn't
texted
answering anything.
I texted you and you're like, I'm out of it, man. And that was it. I was like, okay. So
Because
you
I
gotta
felt
catch up.
bad. I didn't want people to think I was dead. So
Okay.
Mexico. Let's go to
Alright.
Mexico.
So yeah, so we didn't talk about Mexico, but how crazy was that weekend? Was it nuts or was it fun or was it
So much
how was
fun.
it? Okay.
So we were not prepared for what we were walking into. So we did not crash somebody's wedding, but the resort we went to was where the people were. They
That's
didn't have
where,
their wedding there.
The whole
It was
wedding
just-
party was staying
The party
there.
was there. Yeah. We get out there. We meet up with the 2 women that are there that had landed Wednesday. We get there Thursday, and it's full of old people.
Yeah, there was a lot of old people.
like older, like very quiet. So in your mind, you have this image of like Cancun and party and alcohol and it's
adults
all
only.
inclusive and adults only.
It's supposed to be like,
So you're like,
hey,
Wow.
what? Boom, boom, boom.
yeah,
boom.
party. What? That's what we were going for. We were like
No.
ready for the party.
They made people be quiet.
Are you serious? In
The
Cancun?
music
goes
by the pool was like
ten.
very low.
There was
like
music by the
whispering.
pool.
Yeah. I told you guys, I was like, because I thought I heard very faintly. I'm like, I hear Taylor Swift like very faintly. And like I look over and there was like a rock speaker, but it's like whispering.
Oh no. Oh,
So
no.
I was like, how are you supposed to get like, hey, with like
we were definitely the loud, like funny, giggly, but then
No
there was,
surprise there.
the loud, like drunk, like whoa going on. So there
Yeah.
was like a burlesque show.
Oh, the burlesque show was interesting. That was
And it was male and female. So they were like male kind of
they were
Big
so
Mike.
into it.
Yes.
The men were super into it. The one that threw me off though was when they did the single ladies.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. How did that throw you off?
So funny, but I was just like, oh, okay, single ladies, like in
Tommy,
your
I
leather
sent you
pants
the
with
video.
the tutus.
Yes, the guys
They
were
had-
doing single
They
ladies.
had like they were in and they were like single ladies.
Straight
but
dudes?
in
Yes.
Weird.
Well,
Okay.
I
Well,
don't know.
maybe,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe not. I don't
We're
know.
not sure.
But I was just like, okay, like single lady men. Like
They
I get
said-
it. With the tutus threw me off.
Yeah.
Like the
single
two,
lady men.
yeah. I mean, it was cool. I definitely I was feeling their vibe. They
Oh,
were
and
definitely fun.
Thing where they brought a girl on the stage, and let me tell you, when they jumped off the stage, I was sitting
Wow.
on the edge. I was about to crawl inside of Jen. If I could have gotten inside of her sweater, because they have now this light, and this guy's walking by me, and I'm like grabbing her, like, don't let them take me.
You're like,
Don't
no
let
eye
them take me.
contact. No
No,
eye contact.
no, and I'm like playing with her sweater.
What did you guys get yourself into?
Yeah.
Well,
it
they
was-
did they found someone that went on the
Yeah.
stage with him. And let me tell you, the shit that they were doing, I was like, no,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's bizarre. And
no.
this was basically a 2-day trip, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
One
Like
one day.
really one because we came back Saturday.
So we got
So we
there
were really like
Thursday,
Friday.
chilled Friday, came back Saturday.
You
Although we
guys,
did chill Saturday morning too,
you
and we did
realize
stay up
how
really late Friday.
this is
Sorry,
not
I didn't
normal,
sleep.
right? People don't
Why?
go to Mexico for a day. It's not.
Why?
People don't normally do that. They
Why?
plan, they pack, because that's just the way things go, man.
That's the way things go.
So I'm saying it's good that you do that and you can do that. It's
Haven't you
great.
heard Ariana
YOLO?
Grande's new song? Yes, and
I didn't hear that one yet, actually.
you should.
No, I'm
Well,
gonna have to now.
YOLO. Even YOLO.
True.
You
YOLO
only
are
live
good
once.
words
That's
to
the
live by.
motto. The yellow.
No, I do know that, and it was Easter, and I did see there was a meme floating around. It was Jesus, and it said YOLO, and they were just kidding. But I thought it was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
But we had a great Easter. That was definitely unique, and everyone had a blast.
Great
It was
trip to Mexico.
yeah.
Yeah, the Mexico was fun.
But now we're about 7 or so episodes in, and we realize that people don't really know your story, just the little glimpses you guys have given them. So why don't we talk about that today? Why don't we talk about Jenn and Audrey's origin stories?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Why don't we get started? Well, first off, let's talk about how you met, how your friendship, and then we can go back from that, because we know everyone has a lot of kids.
Yes.
Yes.
All of us, everyone kind of blended, which is cool.
Yeah.
And we have have our families. But yeah, let's tell your story. How you guys? I know you guys met through cheer. We said that on the show, but let's go a little deeper.
Go deeper. So both our daughters cheered at Spirit in Greenwich, a cheer gym. And that's kind of how we met. We started kind of, when you go to cheer competitions and like just sitting there while the girls are practicing, you kind of start checking out the people and seeing who kind of you can get along with, and me and her just kind of, we clicked. we like, okay, I was like, you're cool, we're cool. So then we just started talking.
Are cheer moms vicious? Like, are they like, all about their kid? And
I think it's like
best?
any sports or anything that's athletic. You always want what's best for your child, and
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of communication and kind of like not just communication, but like you can communicate all you want, but if you're not on the same page and understanding what the other person's saying, then it's pointless and fruitless. And I think that that's something that happens in every sport. So yeah, there can be vicious parents that might think that their child's getting slighted in some way. But there's awesome parents too.
Yeah.
So it's balance. Everything has its good points and its bad points. But I mean, I wouldn't say the parents were particularly vicious to each other.
No, I feel like it was sometimes it's a little clicky.
Yeah.
Definitely, like you have your cliques of people, but everyone kind of like meshes and like, no one's mean to one another. I've never experienced anyone being mean.
I've never had anybody be mean to me.
Good. And you guys made your own clique? Like you were your own separate group, or you had other people with you?
There were other people kind of with us. And I guess I guess we never excluded anybody that kind of wanted to hung out with us, but there were kind of like the key people that we were around.
Yeah, we did have our little, like, I guess, little
Unit,
group of people
clique.
that we kind of were, our little clique that we kind of.
And I'm sure there was always someone there who was just a dick, right? Because there always is in every group, right? Did you guys find that too?
Our kids were so little that we didn't have to deal with that. Like there was no we didn't really have to deal with parents like, oh, your daughter doesn't need to be there, or your daughter needs to be doing this, or they were littles. Like we were all just like so happy that they were happy.
They were having so much fun, and they were so little and cute, and like they were babies.
Yeah.
So now you deal with that now in Florida, though, right? It's very cutthroat, isn't it?
You hear a lot of people kind of talking about each other and kind of talking about, but that's again anywhere. Like up here, you would hear people talking about each other. The thing that I love about, so my daughter now cheers in Florida, Audrey. My daughter belongs to an elite team down in Florida now, and it's amazing for her, because she is that athlete that wants to do better, that wants to work on. She wants to win, and whatever it takes to for the team to win, she's okay with. Wherever they put her, as long as it's like winning, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's on a team. And these kids work hard. And that's something that I think a lot of people forget. They are kids, they're teenagers, they're going through like their regular emotions and handling the stress of like social media and school and all of this on top of being a part of these programs.
Right.
So it's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress that we sometimes forget that they're under. But this place where she's currently at pushes them so hard. And some people can't handle that.
Yeah.
So they don't have a problem being like, well, we have 50 athletes and only 38 of you can get on the mat. We're going to take the 38 that can handle the pressure. So I think in that way, it could be kind of like cutthroat because like you have an off day and someone else has a good day and you might have just lost your spot on the team.
Yeah, that's kind of vicious. Jen, is your daughter still cheering?
Yeah, she cheers for gym up here closer to our house now. So she's
Okay.
with Wildcats. She likes it.
And so when you guys meet up, who was the first one to say, "Hey, you into weed?" Like, because that's a common.
So when I met Jen, I didn't smoke.
I wasn't really smoking.
Really?
Yes.
I wasn't really smoking that much at that time. I had mine were really little. So I would just smoke like randomly, like not as much as I do now. Cause I mean I had the 5 kids and the baby, and like I was just kind of always running around with them that I didn't really smoke that much. As my kids got older, I started smoking more.
And then you said, "Hey, Audrey, you smoke?" And she's like, "Sure."
Oh, I remember the first time I smoked with you, I got sick. I went to Easy with her.
Yeah. Oh my God. She got so
What's Easy?
sick. So we went to
Electric
Electric
Zoo.
Zoo. So I owe them the animals
Yep.
from my yard. So I always did Electric Zoo with my sister. And we used to do like a candy store, and then after that, the candy store, we did a glitter booth where we would glitter people. So Audrey came with me one day, and we were just hanging out. We were glittering people, and then we started smoking.
Could you just tell me what that? Because I don't know what glittering people means. You're just like,
So like glitter people's bodies. So we would take glitter and like do glitter on their face. Some people wanted their boobs glittered. I've glittered butts.
Remember the
I've
handprint?
glittered. Yeah, I did my handprint on people's butts. I've done my handprint and glitter on people's faces. I've
you just like, "Hey, I got glitter. Come by."
Yeah, it's a glitter booth. So people come by
Okay.
and they want to
Okay.
they come and they pay to get glittered. And then they
Oh,
walk
okay.
around with glitter all over their bodies
Got it.
and like their faces or wherever they want to get glittered. So I've glittered arms, we've glittered, a lot of chests. Girls are really into glittering their boobs and their butts.
Okay.
And yeah, so we were working the glitter booth. So Audrey just came to hang out, listen to music, and kind of chill. And we were smoking with the people in the booth, and all of a sudden I just see her like laid out on this like couch. So I'm like, okay, we need to get you water. So now I'm like trying to get her water and stuff. Now she's like puking all over the place. Like she got so
Whoa.
sick.
So
I was
sick.
like so sick.
Were you
We
drinking?
had a good time before she.
I don't remember. I don't think so. I didn't drink either.
Because you don't usually
No.
get sick from weed, right?
Me? No.
Anyone?
No.
Maybe it was too much. I don't really know. I don't think we did anything
we
else
didn't.
then.
No.
No, because I don't even think I didn't drink at that time. I don't really drink. But yeah, I don't know why you got so sick.
Oh,
I don't know. It was weird. So
Yeah.
I was in the military and all of that, and that's just you don't smoke. And or at the time you don't.
Right.
Or weren't supposed to. Yeah. So I started college and kind of it wasn't for me. I don't know. I tried school, like making friends was awesome, and my grades were great. I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where I wanted to be. So I joined the military. 9/11 had happened. It was my senior year of high school. and my school, you could see the towers falling from where we were, and that like impacted me. So I wanted to be a part of something bigger to help. So I joined the military, and I was a medic, and I went for my training, and I was stationed out in Germany at Landshtul Regional Medical Center, and it was an amazing time in my life, and it just opened my eyes to a lot of opportunities that I didn't know at that age were available, or you would even think about, because when you go into the military, every position you're basically passing somebody. They're doing something for the United States in their capacity through the military, but it's singing. We have we have a band, the USO, like we have, there's engineering, there's dopes on a rope. Okay, so there are some nicknames that military personnel have for each other. They're not, some can be nice, some can be not so nice, but that's a not so nice one. You have like your chefs, like that's a position in the military, and dude, those are the people you want to be really tight with your chow people, because your chow hall ones are the ones that are going to hook you up with the good food. And you, drill sergeant is a position. I mean, after a certain period of time, you have whatever, but
you're just a kid though.
I was a kid. I was a baby.
How old are you? 19, 20 years old? How old
18.
are you? 18. Holy,
Yeah.
and you're living in Germany in the military on the base.
Yeah.
That's
no,
bizarre.
I actually ended up getting married. So it's a very common.
Wait. Hold on. This is new information. Hold on. Go. Stop. Please take us back.
Okay. So when you were in basic, there are only 2 basic training facilities that include women for the military. So I was in Fort Leonard Wood, which is in Missouri. And you meet all of these people, and then you go into your military training, your MOS. And again, you're there for an extended period of time based off of whatever position you choose. Medical is a little longer. And you meet all of these different people in various areas. So radiology, dental, X-ray, radiology, anesthesia, general, like we were working with LPNs. My position would be the equivalent here of a CPN, but
so it's basically
you
nursing.
learn all of these. All these medical fields are out there, and you're, I'm a kid. I don't know anything about any of this stuff. And you also meet people, and you build relationships, and you get stationed in different areas. And when you're with someone for a while and you feel that connection, and you're being told you guys have to leave each other, you get married. Because then they have to station you together.
Okay.
So he was reserve. I was active duty. He lived in Indiana. And I was being stationed in Germany. So he ended up coming with me.
So you got married at 18 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got divorced.
How quickly did that happen?
Just over a year.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, we just ended up going through some stuff. His dad was dying. I was going through some stuff, and we kept on going back and forth. So Red Cross, anytime somebody's on their deathbed, essentially, the Red Cross will get contacted when you're in the military and you're stationed overseas or wherever you are. And then the Red Cross gets a hold of you wherever you are. And then they send you back. So they go through the whole process of doing basically like a grievance type of leave. Like you're basically going home to go watch your parent die. We'd made this trip about 3 times.
Gotcha.
Because then we would get there, and then his dad would kind of come out of it, and his dad had MS. Yeah. And we would go back, and it just became a lot between that. I mean, when you work on a unit in a hospital, you're working 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
You still have to do your regular military stuff. So you still have Thursday training, you have PT, you have tests you have to take. I did fat camp. So people that failed their PT test, I had maxed out everyone. Like every part of the test that they give you, I'd maxed out. They tend to use those people to train the people that can't pass it. So
Okay.
I had that. You had certain formations that you had to make. So it was a lot, and then having to travel like that, and then being in these different time zones, and the military doesn't care. Like,
Right.
oh, you landed at 2 a.m., you have to report at 4.
Sounds like your Cancun trip.
It does, right? See, that's why I'm ready for
Great.
it.
So, but you're a kid. You're 18 years old, and now
Mhm.
you're doing all this stuff. You're working in the hospital unit, and now you're flying back and forth to Indiana. And on top of that, you're like, let's get married.
Well, at this point, I was a year and a half into the military.
Okay, so you're 19 and a half.
Yeah.
You're still a baby.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah. So we did all of that. Then you're acclimating to like this new environment, the food, these people that don't like you,
The
because you're
German folks.
American.
Yeah.
Well, in certain areas they just didn't like, and it wasn't that they weren't like aggressive or anything. I love Germany. Germany's gorgeous. I lived off base because I was married. We chose to live off base, and the people were amazing. Every time we left, so I had a garden. They're very big on their like everything being like aesthetically pleasing,
Right.
especially with your neighbors. So I had a garden, and every time we left, the people either next door to us or across the street would come over and work with my garden until I came
love
back
that.
home.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
I
That's
love
really
that. I
Yeah.
need my neighbors to do that.
No, every time. But it stays bright so long there, and I'm such an avid reader that it would be like 10:30, and my husband would come outside and be like, "Babe, you have to go to bed. You have to wake up in like 4 hours." I'm like, "What? It's bright."
Well, wait. How
Uh,
old is your husband at the time?
he was a year older than me.
So you guys are both babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually jealous of my mom. So my mom would come like anytime I would have like I got hurt, she showed up.
She
In
came to
basic
Germany.
yeah.
Okay.
She showed up at my basic training. Something happened there. She showed up. She showed up. I was doing something and I look up and you're at basic. There's not supposed to be like civilians on the
Right.
freaking premise. And I look up and there's my fucking mom. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Are you
So-
embarrassed? You're like, oh my god, mom, you're
No,
embarrassing
I'm
in front
so
of the troops.
happy.
Oh, okay, you're
Because
happy.
you're not like, dude, all you're around are these strangers and you're a baby. And then
Yeah.
like you see something familiar and you're like, oh, you start crying and you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, holy crap, how the fuck is she here?
Yeah.
That's what moms are for.
Also,
And
those
then-
military videos, if you watch them, I mean, they make you cry like every time when
Yeah, they
the kids
do.
see their parent. Yeah,
Yes, it
But
is
it's
so nice.
dude, but they don't, you know what? A lot of people don't, I think, realize how much you miss out on when you're there. I didn't know anything that was going on at home if I didn't watch the news. I
Right.
didn't know what kind of music was out. I didn't see a lot of my family grow up.
Yep.
I missed holidays, a lot of holidays. And it was really a big deal to me. The first Thanksgiving I was away from home, there are people that open their homes to those that can't go home in the
German folks?
military.
Or is it in basic?
This is in during my MOS training, so my military specialty training. You would buddy up. So I think there were about 4 of us that went to another family's home, and they were in the military as well, but they were officers. So the particular home that I went to, and the officer wasn't there, but like the wife and the kids and their family was there. So we still celebrated Thanksgiving with a family,
Right.
which was special to me and meant
Yeah.
something to me because I was so young, and for me that's what it was about.
Yeah, being together and having
Mhm.
that closeness with people.
And somebody welcomed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's so
like
nice.
having like, we all watched the football game and it was just so much fun and it just felt normal.
Yeah.
And
home, like you were
nothing's
home.
yeah. And you don't get that when
Yeah.
you're in the military or when you're training or even when you're doing whatever it is that your job is. I mean, look, did somebody get easier jobs that had the exact same MOS as me? Absolutely. One of my battles got a freaking office that was only open 5 hours a day.
Wait, what do you mean? You said one of my battles. What does that mean?
Oh, so you would call like the people that were they're your battle buddies. Like these are the
Okay.
people that have your back. Like you have to trust them.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Especially as a medic, you get like a little like you get your handgun. Cuz if you're out there, you're not really you have your little your thing that goes on your armband that has the medical flag.
Right.
Basically saying, this person's trying to save someone. But, that doesn't mean you're not a target. It's just hoping that someone has some compassion.
You mentioned your handgun. Are you a good shot?
I'm a very good shot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I was also raised in Georgia. So I had a gun license when I was like 9.
Okay. So don't piss you off. Just note that.
I think I was one off from getting whatever the highest level was.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember. Yeah. So I got right under that. I was one. All I needed was one shot. One.
Do you still shoot now? You practice?
I want to start going to a gun range again. I actually started talking to a friend about it. There's one right here in Ridgefield, and then in Florida. Once
they're everywhere, right?
Yeah. So I actually do like to shoot only because you always want that knowledge. You want that like the knowledge is power.
Yep.
You never want somebody to be able to use something against you because you don't know how to.
Sure.
So I want to be able to look at it and be like, haha, duck, because I know your safety's on. Like,
Right.
or know that I can run because
Gus
your
will help you
safety's
with
on.
that. He's got his freaking all his guns.
Oh
and
no, I
stuff.
did all of that, but that's why I did that. Like that was a big and I loved taking them down and building them back up and cleaning all the components. Like being able to do that and race against the guys to do it is awesome. Like these are things that just brought me like pride and like empowerment and and I didn't know I was a girl. I was raised with 2 older brothers and I was very tomboy, didn't wear makeup, didn't do my hair. So I thought I was one of the boys. I could fight. And then I think the first time I ever realized that I was not one of the boys was during a fire drill. Because usually in the military, your hair's in a bun. So the guys just see you all the time in like a bun with a hat on. So they did a fire drill at like everybody's in the fucking shower. Like, why would you do it during like
all right,
whatever? But fine. So people are running out. All I had time to do was throw on a freaking my PT clothes, which are basically like your physical training like outfit, your shorts, your shirt, and we ran outside. So my hair's sopping wet. We're in Texas at this point because I think this was the MOS place. And it's humid. My hair ended up curly, and all of these guys are staring at me.
It's like your movie scene. You come out of the shower in front of all the boys.
And I'm like, what's happening? But they're the boys that were always like my boy. Like they were like chill with me. And we're the ones that are like hitting each other. And, like
hold on. Not anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. But I wasn't used to that because being around older brothers, like all the guys always thought that I was just one of the guys because nobody's going to fuck with Rico's little sister or like that's just your little sister. That's everybody's little sister. So I was just one of the boys. So now all of a sudden these guys are looking at me and I'm like, wait, what is happening?
Something's different, yeah.
Like, ew, why are you looking at me like that? But let me tell you, after that, every fire drill that happened, every single girl came downstairs without their hair up.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, okay. They just need hair down. We got this. I was like, okay, yeah, you do it. I was good with that. I actually had a girl teach me how to put on makeup because we were going to like a club with other guys one night.
Oh, wow. You had no idea how to put makeup. You really were a tomboy, huh?
I still don't wear makeup. It's so much work.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah, that's why I don't wear it. Too much work.
Yeah. You don't need it. You're just naturally adorable.
Oh, look at you.
Did you blush? Did you?
A little bit. I did a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So let's go. So now
yep. I see it.
All right, fair enough.
It's turning
So
red.
now, so now you're married. You're married in Germany, right?
Yes.
You're married in Germany,
Yeah.
and then you're getting divorced
Yes.
while still in the military.
Did we get divorced in the military? I think we were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they make that easy for you guys? Is like a process there, like everything
It
else?
wasn't hard.
Yeah.
It just happened. And yeah, I ended up getting married again.
What?
It wasn't for those reasons though. So this was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Okay.
Um
Oh, wait. Oh, you married a woman.
I married a guy.
Oh, okay. So why don't ask, don't tell?
Because they still kicked people out of the military for being gay or lesbian. So when I was in basic, there was a girl that was removed because they found out that she was a lesbian.
So you married a gay guy.
Yeah.
As a favor.
Yeah.
This is all, Jen, I guess you knew this. This is all news to me. So now that's 2 marriages. Okay. So explain this one.
He was a good guy. There was zero reason that he should have. It wasn't like he was going around doing something that was going to endanger us. He was really smart, had a lot to offer, and there was no point in him being removed because of his sexual preference. That's
silly.
nobody's business.
That has nothing to do with you as a person and how you can
Exactly.
complete your tasks.
He
and
had
stuff.
so much more to offer than a lot of guys that I know. And because of his sexual preference, it wasn't worth it. Like I didn't agree with that, and I had an opportunity to help someone that I felt needed it, so I did.
Okay. So now you're married you're still in Germany?
Yeah.
Okay. And he
Oh wait, no, I was here now.
Okay. But he could stay in the military.
Yeah. And he did.
Jen, you knew about all this? Didn't tell me? This is great. Holy shit, Audrey. Fucking onion keeps peeling back layers.
Yeah. So I mean, we ended up getting divorced too. I ended up having a kid, obviously with someone else.
Not with the gay guy.
Obviously was not sleeping with him and ended up pregnant. He was still in the military, so we had to get a divorce at that point because of there's a lot of like legal shit that goes into that. Like I'm basically an adulteress. I got pregnant while married, and I was pregnant with somebody else's child.
But was he like, nah, I'm good. It's all good. Don't worry
What, the
about
divorce?
it. No,
he would have been there.
Right.
The guy that I was married to would have totally been there.
Gotcha.
It became a problem because the father wanted custody.
Oh, and he could say she's married to somebody else, so she's
correct.
Horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just became easier for us to get divorced.
Okay.
And then that eliminated that as a problem that he could bring up in court.
Got it. And now your ex-husband, the gay guy, he was like, now everyone thought he was straight because he's married and divorced. Like, look.
Yeah, there was pictures of us. Like.
Okay. So he stayed in.
Yeah.
And he's good. Okay. So now you get pregnant with your first, and now you're in a custody deal.
Yeah.
And okay. Now what?
I was bouncing between Georgia and New York.
Okay.
Because I was in Georgia when I got pregnant, and came up to New York, lived with my mom up here, and I've kind of been up here ever since.
Up here's New York.
Out of the military. Yep. Now I'm in Connecticut. I keep going. I've always wanted to go and be closer to the water and the sun and all of that. So what do? You
become a jellyfish.
Further north.
I thought you transformed into a jellyfish.
No, that's something I would have done anyway.
Video on YouTube. So
yeah,
everybody wants to check it out. I mean,
we love costumes.
We do, especially inflatable ones. What?
Yes.
So now you're up here, Connecticut, and the New York area, and you have 7, counting Nick. So you have a huge brood. You have
I do.
You have a football team basically.
I do.
And
after I want to say my second, there was a point that I had like 3 jobs. I was living in a 1-bedroom with the 2 girls my two oldest, and myself. So they had the room, I had the living room. That was in the Bronx. And then I moved to a 3-bedroom, ended up with 3 kids. He was really sick though, and ended up living after his first year. I just taking care of 2 other basically babies still, and paying all of these bills and having to work and having a baby that needed medicine like every 4 hours for this medication and every 6 for this one and 8 for this one, and he kept on getting like bronchitis and pneumonia, and so he ended up staying with his grandparents because his grandmother was a stay-at-home mom, and she was able to just stay with him and take him to his doctor's appointments, and that was where my son needed to be. And it was a hard decision, because nobody, like, this is my first son.
Mhm.
Like, this is my first boy. He's 1, but I have a child that is on the spectrum, and I have another one that's 14 months younger than her. And now this new kid that needs constant attention. I couldn't do it. So he ended up staying with his dad, and his dad lives with his parents. So he ended up staying with his grandparents, and he speaks Greek. He goes to a Greek school. He is doing amazing, and I see him and I love him and he loves me. And I know that where he is, he would not have had that with me. So I made the right decision for him. And then I ended up with Mia
Yeah.
and
Fast forward now.
Joseph and
Yeah.
Aiden, and and I stood with those. Actually, I had somebody that wanted Mia. When I was pregnant, I had the kids that I had, and they were little, and I was super excited. I'd moved up to Port Chester, had this awesome job, got this like raise, and I got pregnant with Mia. And they would literally tell me that the best I could do for my daughter was to give her up,
Who's the
because I
they?
had
Who's the
another
they?
person, we'll leave
Oh.
them unnamed, that they could offer a much better life for her, and that they had more to give because they had a lot of money. And they had a lot of boys and no girl.
Right.
So they wanted her so bad. And there was nothing wrong with them. They were amazing. And it kind of like, I thought about it. I did, because like, dude, here's my son, and he got opportunities that I never would have been able to give him because his grandparents had way more money than I had too. So
Well, yeah, you should say you were at this point, you're struggling. I mean, you did have a
struggling.
job, but you're
I
struggling.
did, but like so I mean, my ex had to co-sign for me to get a car.
Right, well,
So like I was at that point in my life. Like I was like, maybe I don't know. Like their boys were all so happy, and they were a good couple, and it was a couple, and they were together, and they'd
yeah.
been together forever, and they came from really good backgrounds, and I really thought about it. And then I had her, and holy shit,
Yeah.
this little freaking peanut. And then she like ended up with issues and had to be in a cast.
I
And
remember her.
She was so cute and little in
She
her little
was.
cast. I was like, oh, Mia. With her.
Yeah, you should say she had the hip dysplasia, right? She was in a full body,
Yeah.
she
basically a
had
full
a
body cast.
sublux hip and hip dysplasia, and was full body casted. So it was from her armpits all the way down to her ankles, just above her ankles. And so she was spread eagle, like had a little hole for the like diaper, like it was crazy. And yeah, so I did consider it, and then I realized that my kids are happy. My kids are healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids love me, and I love them. Fuck you. I'm keeping my kid.
Yeah.
I don't care if I can't send her to Catholic school, or if I can't go on these extravagant vacations like you guys. I can be there. I can see her. She can see me. Like, fuck it. Like, I got this. I can do this. I did it with 2. I did it with 3 for a year. I can do this again. And I did. And then I had another one.
And
And
again.
then I had another one.
And again.
But you know what? They became my driving force behind. Like, dude, you really think I would have worked 3 jobs for myself? You think that I would have shown up at 3 o'clock in the morning all the way up to Mount Kisco to pack a truck of chips and dip, drive a truck and deliver them to grocery stores, and then go and spend the day with my kids until I could work again that night to do a promotion? Like,
Right.
I had so much going on and so much, but I did it before my kids. And then pieces just started lining up. And then, you know what? That family that offered to take in my child to give her a better life, I didn't need them anymore because I was giving my kids that
Yeah.
better life. And I thank God every day for my blessings.
And well, yes, and then you catch lightning in a bottle in business,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of like skyrockets you to a different situation. You want to talk about that a little bit? I mean,
Well, I was in a situation where I'd been in sales my entire life. And I was always top bracket. So like highest numbers, which brought in the most money in those divisions. So like if you gave me a smaller space and they were bringing in 10K a week, I'm bringing in 15K a week. But I wasn't
for somebody else
seeing
though, for someone else.
for someone else.
Right.
And then this is just it kept on going that way. So these were all these jobs that I was working, were all these positions where I was working and making all this money for other people. And I wanted to make it for myself. Well, I didn't want to make it for myself. No, because we're going to go back to the fear. I was making it. I was surviving. My kids were doing well. My kids were in cheer. I would bust my ass finding sponsorships, doing whatever I could to keep my kids and what they wanted. Because I had Xiomara and Audrey were in cheer. And at one point, Xiomara, Aubrey, and Mio were in cheer. And I didn't have the money I have now. And I was busting my ass. And I got into another sales job doing collection work. And the freaking guy up and has a heart attack. And everybody, like, the company just falls apart.
Whoa.
Falls
Yeah,
apart.
that was crazy.
They think he's dying. Like they really thought he was going to die. They cleared out his account, his CFO, fired everyone. Like,
Wow.
That was crazy.
So now here I am, and I was pregnant, and now I'm pregnant with no job and all of these kids to take care of. What the fuck am I going to do? So I was like, all right, I got this. I did it for myself. I went into sales for myself. I started my own business. I tried to get people to help me that were doing it. I couldn't offer a lot of money, but like from the ground up, like obviously I wouldn't be able to offer a lot of money, but you know, at least we could try to build something together. I ended up building it on my own because nobody wanted to work like that. Everybody wants a guaranteed buck in their pocket.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work from the ground up. I did it by myself. And I had to do it by myself because somebody had to feed the kids. I was paying all the bills. Every single bill was on my shoulders. So if I didn't figure out how to pay them, they weren't getting paid. And then I was in the street. So I did. And then I built it up and it became more and more successful. And then I started partnering with other people and I got some really big names as clients. One of my first checks as my own business was from a pretty big name business that also I'll leave unsaid.
Yeah.
And I kept that first like copy of that check because it was for over $7,000.
Well, let's let's validate yourself. How does that feel? And you're like, are you just like, holy shit, I'm doing this? Like, how do you feel at that moment?
Unreal. Because a lot of it, there were a lot of tears and a lot of hours and a lot of like, remember, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. Geez.
So I'm trying to figure out how to sell myself without them realizing I'm pregnant because for whatever reason, people look at pregnant women as being incompetent or incapable.
Right. Disabled almost.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
more than capable and competent enough to do it. So I did. And it worked. Thank
And
God.
then is it snowball effect though at that point? Is it just
Well,
keep
because
snowballing?
then you start getting to the point where like you realize the portions of what you're doing that you don't want to do anymore. Like you don't want to work with these types of people, or you want to be able to say that you don't need that client or this type of client. And I started investing in other areas. So I started going into like stocks, and then I started going into like finding like a financial advisor, and starting new things with the money that I had coming in, and partnering with people and starting new projects. And some of them were successful, some of them weren't. Some of them ate my money, some of them
Right.
made me more money. And that's where I stand today.
So do you find that you're more of a person who takes chances, does things, doesn't sit back anymore? Like, has that changed from when you were, that broke person who had all those kids and didn't know what to do?
I never stop trying to figure out how to make more,
Okay.
because I know that tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Like yesterday I had
Exactly.
nothing, tomorrow you have everything. Well, guess what? That next day you could have nothing again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm always building off of new things, a heating and air company, buying into real estate, renting it out, being a landlord, which I really didn't want to do.
Doing a podcast, hosting a
Doing a
podcast.
podcast, like all of these things are just different avenues that I've got into to help build a legacy kind of for my kids. I want to know that the day that I die, my kids are not going to panic and not have anything.
Right.
They'll be able to go, okay. I mean, obviously they'll have to have some kind of work ethic, because they'll have to keep it up and they'll
Right.
have to put the work into it. Otherwise but I'm giving them their best chance possible, as
Yeah.
opposed to just leaving them with nothing.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what you try to make it about.
That's what you want for your kids. You want to be able to leave them comfortable
Something.
and happy.
Yes.
Yes.
And like
You
know
don't
that
want
they're
them to
gonna be
stress
okay.
out.
Or know that, oh shit, my mom died and now I have to fucking pay all her bills and
Yeah.
figure out all this craziness.
How am I
because
supposed
that
to
is
afford to
fucking
bury
stressful
her
as
or
hell.
cremate
Yeah.
her or have a funeral or any of those things?
So Audrey, you have a unique perspective that people don't have. You've kind of lived both sides of life,
Yeah.
Like, what would you say to people out there, anyone listening who's like, I want to do that? What is not the secret, but what should be the first thing I do to achieve or try to strive to achieve that?
A lot of people want something for nothing now. They don't want to put the work into it. They want things handed to them. There's so much victimization out there right now. So many people want to be like, oh, well, with me, I have anxiety. So do I.
We all
everyone.
do. We all do. That's life. That's life.
I'm depressed. I get depressed too.
Join the club.
2 days ago, I was asking somebody to shoot me
Oh,
just to end my shit. We go through stuff. You can't let yourself get buried in it, because you can't grow from that. You have to be willing to put the work into what it is that you want. So if you want to grow and be successful with finances, then put the work into it. Find out why you're not. Maybe look into financing. What is your financial stability? Maybe you don't know what that means. Maybe it's a budgeting issue. Maybe you're in the wrong field. Maybe you don't realize what it is that you have to offer somebody else, that they're willing to, and I'm not saying offer your body. I've never done that, never will, but you might have like all men have.
Oh no!
I mean,
that was a joke, Christine.
You like that, right?
There you go.
You have to be able to put the work into what it is that you want. So like
Right.
if your financial, if it's somebody is unhappy where they are, then you're in the wrong field. Look into what it is
Exactly.
that makes you happy. Like I didn't go into sales all these years because I didn't like it. I was good at it.
Yeah.
That's why I kept doing it. I was a good salesperson. I'm a genuine person. Like, I really don't want to give you something that's not going to benefit you. I'm not trying to sell it for the bottom line. I'm trying to sell what you're going to move. So they might want us to move this, but your store moves this. Why would I want to sell you a minimum on this. Let's advertise this and push this more since this is what you move. Guess where those numbers came from? Me doing the research on what that business would benefit from, because essentially that's where I am now. So now people will call me and go, hey, this is a situation that I'm having with my business right now. These are my bottom line. This is where I want to be. Can you help me? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll help where I can. I mean, they gotta pay me, but I'll help. And I'm able to, like, maybe you can go into looking at, if let's say it's collections. Let's say somebody calls me and goes, hey, our AR department currently has like all of this in our arrears. Like, we're up to $150,000. Like, what can I do? I'll meet with you. Let's find out why. Let's find out if it's a consistent problem. Is it your people? Is it, I went to one place that it wasn't even that people weren't paying them. Their billing department, when they moved, didn't change the address on their invoices. So all of their checks were getting mailed to the old place.
Wow.
So it could be something as simple as that, though. But
so it seems like it seems like you're saying, don't be a victim, work your ass off, and look at things from different angles.
But and that's okay. So people think you have to work your ass off. No, you have to make smart choices. Okay. So I researched businesses. When they call me, I look into them. I look into what it is that they're expecting, not just the business itself, but the people that I'm going to communicate with. So you have to not be lazy in that aspect. You have to be willing to put the work into getting where it is that you want to be. And if you do that, you will be successful. Dude, I constantly listen to stories about Kentucky Fried Chicken and Colonel Sanders and what happened with him. There's so many stories like that. I'm 40. This didn't happen until 3 years ago, maybe 4. I don't remember.
Very recently.
4, because Joe's going to be 5. So 5 years ago, because he's the one that pushed me into it. I was pregnant with him. So, dude, we never know where, just because your situation can be so dark and you think that like this is it and this is all that life has to offer for you. That's not, put the work in.
Yeah. Stop
using it as an excuse to lay down and be like, I'm done. Just do the work.
Love it.
Usually when I'm done, it's because I'm just tired.
Well, after 3 days in Mexico, how can you not be tired, you know?
And I just need a nap.
I think that's a good point. I think that's a good time to wrap there, because you bring it full circle. You want to do for your kids. You did a great party. You went to Mexico, an impromptu life party. It was all good. And thanks for sharing your story on Rule 42 today, Audrey. And
Let's go Rule 42.
We'll hear Jen. Jen, we'll hear your story on a different episode. We'll do one that just focuses on you, because Audrey, you're kind of rolling today. So
yeah, no worries.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, Audrey was such a great guest.
It was so nice listening to Audrey's story. I learned so much about her.
I did. I learned things. I didn't know you were married twice and once to a gay guy. Like, who knew? But it's a fascinating story that you told. I'm really glad you shared that. I learned something today, and I know you, and that was awesome. That was awesome to hear that, you know. So thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
There you go. Jen, you'll be next. We'll do yours too. You'll do your story.
And we'll do you next time.
Oh
wait, ready? Don't forget to listen in every Thursday. Rule 42.
Like and share. Spread it around.
Coming at you every Thursday.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Rule 42 is hosted by Audrey Cruz and Jenn Burke. It is produced and edited by Tom Smith. The opening song is Rule 42 by Eddie Carr. Rule 42's artwork was created by Aubrey Cruz. And I'm your announcer, Molly Smith. Thank you for listening to Rule 42. We hope you enjoyed the show. New episodes premiere every Thursday on all podcast platforms. Please subscribe, share the show, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple.